idiots. Because if you watch Raw tonight, you heard something when Chris Jericho came out. You heard the fans of Jericho, and they cheered him on, man.
He even said the phrase "marking out, man," which I thought, wow, that was awesome. Just to hear him just relating to the fans is always amazing. He could do that again as a face or as a heel. He knows a way to connect with them, whether to like him or to hate him. That's why Chris Jericho is the GOAT.
He's also one of those guys where you hate him, but he's like, I look at Chris Jericho and I put him up there with, like Roddy Piper, Rick Rude, Triple H, just guys that you hate them, but you love them so much. Like, you love to hate them.
Definitely. The thing also about this promo that Chris Jericho did during the highlight reel was that he showed quite a bit of his, classic Y2J deal where he was trying to be funny, but also he was being very serious. He was finding a way to mix, like, the two personas that he had, like, from his early years and then to his later years, where he just combined those two together and he created just great magic, just great chemistry there. Talk about Kevin Owens being, a Chris Jericho fan, and then having that whole conversation between the two of them via, I think it was probably via Twitter. It might have been via a personal message, regardless.
It was like personal messages, but the picture he showed was, I believe it was 16-year-old Kevin Owens wearing a Y2J shirt, doing a Chris Jericho pose, with a Chris Jericho poster on one side, and how did he turn it? Busty blonde chick on the other side, who wasn't half as sexy as Chris Jericho was.
Oh, God, I love that line. That was awesome. Oh, man. But, yeah, Jericho was just about to put Kevin Owens onto the list when out comes Samoa Joe to distract him. And here comes Kevin Owens, beats him down, pop-up powerbomb. And then the audacity of Kevin Owens picking up the pen, chucking it, and then grabbing the list of Jericho and basically tearing it to shreds. Kevin Owens, you rat bastard, how dare you? The sacred list of Jericho and you destroyed it? Oh, now you just made this personal. I don't expect...
Not only did Kevin Owens make the list, Kevin Owens keep the list.
So, yeah, that is why, again, I think that just the chemistry between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho has just grown immensely since their last matchup. I think it was, I want to say it was back at that Madison Square Garden event or something like that. It's grown immensely.
I wish they would have had a segment with Jericho afterwards where he said something along the lines of, like, Kevin Owens, you just ate the list. Like, I don't know, I think it would have been funny, but maybe it's just me.
Oh, man. Well, he'll probably have a new list by next week. We'll have to wait and see.
Of course. You don't just have one list.
All right, so we go into a couple of cruiserweight matches. Brian Kendrick defeated T.J. Perkins in a matter of 2 minutes, continuing his feud.
That was a fucking best.
Yeah, he pulls T.J. Perkins' hair and then does the sliced bread number 2. Okay, then. That was a thing. That happened.
Oh, you forgot the referee spot, though. That's what allowed him to pull the hair.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, it was just one of those things where, like, we've gone from, like, eye raking to thumb gouging and that kind of deal to just pulling hair. Just pulling the hair and then doing a finisher. Great. Just great. But you know what? Let's go into a more positive note. The greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries, defeated Tony Nese and Corey Graves, creating a new finishing move for Austin Aries. The rolling 5-arm by... Oh, man. That was beautiful.
Is that rolling 5-arm or discus 5-arm?
I don't know. I think that's up for debate right now, so... I think discus 5-arm actually sounds a lot cooler.
But it's like his explanation. He's like, it's
Well, it's Austin Aries. And he and Neville have a great promo. Another great matchup that I'm looking forward to at WrestleMania. I think that's just going to make so many smarks out in the audience just so happy. All the independent fans are just going to be like, oh my gosh, we get to see Austin Aries versus Neville. It's going to be amazing.
Well, they made the announcement, too, that tomorrow night on 205 Live, Austin Aries has a message for the king of the cruiserweights, Mr. Neville. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that message is Fight Me at WrestleMania.
Well, I was going to say it's probably more that, like Neville, you can't handle this package right here, man. Because he has the greatest package that ever lived. I'm sorry. It's Austin Aries. Briefly touch base about this. Stephanie basically says to Sheamus and Cesaro, you got to fight for your right for a title match again. Defeating Gallows, Anderson, Enzo, and Cass in a 4-on-2 handicap match. But then Enzo and Cass also beat up the club. Building a little bit of momentum. It's kind of weird how they kind of went about this. I thought, this is probably where I'm going to start falling asleep, isn't it? And
that match was kind of a squash.
That just... it was kind of, like I said, it was just a waste of a handicap match. It was just one of those things where it's like, oh, I thought it was going to be more competitive. Not really, no. It was just, it was just there. Yep, we get a little bit of promo packages for Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, basically promoting the final confrontation between the two of them before WrestleMania next week.
Oh God, who cares?
Oh, for the love of God, please let Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton main event WrestleMania. I do not want this match to go on last. Please, for all that is good and right in the world, and for the love of Beauty and the Beast, please, just let these guys kick off the show, and let us just have a good WrestleMania. Let the Universal title just kick off the show, and then all the other matches happen after that. That's fine. I would be totally fine with that.
I heard rumor that Taker and Reigns is going to be the main.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they're going to do something special with that match, or just gonna?
I don't know. I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. I guess it's half the rumors we hear, actually more than half, 75-80% of the rumors you read online don't come true, but every once in a while some of them do. And I hope this one is not. I think it's WrestleMania. You have to end on a title match. I hope it's Bray and Randy too, but I got a feeling it's going to be Goldberg and Lesnar.
See that I think that when we all watch WrestleMania again on that weekend, that is probably going to be the matchup that I will just walk out and not even watch it. It's like, you know what? I know it's going to happen. Just it's not even worth my time. I'm done. I'm just gone. Not even going to do it. But speaking,
I'm going to watch it because it's fucking WrestleMania. But I'm not looking forward to it in any way, shape, or form.
But you mentioned Taker and Reigns, which does bring us to the main event, that being Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. A decent matchup, not as good as their Fastlane matchup in my opinion. But again, they are just building up to the confrontation between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. Undertaker hits a chokeslam on Braun Strowman. And I will say this, I thought this was actually pretty funny. Basically, when Undertaker chokeslams Braun's out of the ring, and this Taker looks over at Braun, you just look at Taker's face, and he's just basically just like, oh shit, I'm going to take a spear, aren't I? Just turns around and gets speared by Roman Reigns. It's like,
yeah. It was that moment he realized he just turned his back on his opponent, and he's like, oh shit, because he knew it was coming. And of course he eats the spear. They make Roman look super strong again, as they do.
Well,
but I knew this was coming. Taker was laid out in the ring. Roman's walking up the ramp. And of course, he stops and turns around. And as soon as Reigns turns around and looks back at the ring, Taker sits up in true Undertaker form, stands up, does the throat slice with his creepy tongue sticking out of his mouth, and I mean, classic Undertaker right there.
Yeah, that does actually raise the question: is Roman Reigns going to be the man who is only the second person to beat, the Undertaker at WrestleMania? And I will say this, that a lot of people have been saying that because of Undertaker losing at WrestleMania, it's like, oh, well, now the kind of, prestige of him at WrestleMania is not really there anymore. I disagree. I think that, Undertaker still has a pretty long streak. I mean, he's beaten, 23 other guys?
He's 23 and 1.
23 and 1, yeah.
If you're going to beat the streak, it should have been his very last match.
I do agree with that.
Then I don't think you really take the streak that much. But you have him lose and then come back, and still wrestle at WrestleMania. Let's be honest, for the last 20-something years, The Undertaker at WrestleMania, knowing the streak and everything, that was one of its biggest selling points. That was one of the matches to look forward to. Yep. It was going to be one of the best matches. Mm-hmm. Now, you lost that. It's like, well, he already got beat, so now it's like, now you don't care if he wins or loses because the streak is over. It doesn't matter anymore. He's not like a normal wrestler. You don't really care if he wins or loses. I don't personally, but you cared about the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania, and him losing that, anything afterwards just to me is irrelevant now. It's like, okay, he comes back and he beats Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and it's like, why? You should be putting him over. He's the next you. And then I can't remember. Did he have a match after that too at WrestleMania?
His match with Shane McMahon last year.
Oh yeah, Shane. Which, if Shane lost, he wouldn't be taking over any show, Raw or SmackDown. Shane loses, and Shane still takes over one of the shows. No sense whatsoever at all. And now we're getting Roman Reigns and Taker. And I honestly, at this point, I'm so sick of Undertaker at WrestleMania. Dude's old as dirt. I just think he needs to go.
Yeah. Well, you make some very solid points, but I will say that I still do enjoy the idea of still seeing The Undertaker at WrestleMania because he is still the guy who not only has made WrestleMania other than Shawn Michaels, but he's one of those guys who's been in more WrestleManias than anybody. I mean, you look at the statistics for him. 24 WrestleMania appearances, and he's only lost one time. That is still a major deal. I mean, honestly, that's like the Patriots going on to win, only, out of 24 Super Bowls, they won only 23, and they lost once, and that was to the Seahawks. Something like that. So I think that there's still prestige in this matchup between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. I mean, maybe I'm just, tuning into the classic fan where it's just like, this is still going to be a great matchup. It's still going to be awesome. Even though I know Undertaker is, as you said, old as dirt, it's still going to be one of those matches that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing the most. I think that, in my heart, I would love to see The Undertaker win, but for me, it's just like, you're right, he needs to go. And I think right now, for him, the best thing for him to do is for him to put Roman over. I know that's going to infuriate a lot of people because it's Roman Reigns. He's the guy who they're pushing down our throats and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but right now, I think Roman Reigns could really use the win right now because he's not had that single win where it's just, just great, where it just stands out, where it's like, this was the matchup that made Roman Reigns who he was. And for those of you that are saying, oh, what about his match with Triple H last year? I was like, shut the hell up. That match never happened, in my opinion. It was just like a squash, okay? I'm not going to talk about that. We're not going to go back to that. What about his match against Brock Lesnar? Well, we still need to see the rematch. But having that big win over The Undertaker, I think, would definitely solidify his career in his own way instead of doing it the John Cena way that they've been trying to do for so long. Let Roman be Roman. Let him be, a face his own way. Let him be a heel his own way.